everyone, this is Devleena welcoming you all to another iconic episode of Icons Behind Brand. And the interesting series is none other than Iconic Ads with Devleena and Saurabh. I have my expert co host with me, Mr. Saurabh Bajaj. Welcome here
Hi,
once.
good to be here.
Same here. And we have our guest for today, Ms. Priya Lobo, who is the Chief Executive Officer at Ormex Compass.
Hi,
Hi, Priya.
and hi, Saurabh. Pleasure to be here.
Welcome to IBB, Priya. Before we talk, let me play the ad.
कभी टिप टिप दिन भर, कभी बहुत सारा अचानक, कभी तो लगता है कि जैसे नल ही खुल गया हो। हैवी फ्लो में कोई स्लिम ट्रिम नैपकिन नहीं, एक हैवी ड्यूटी पैड चाहिए। रियो 3 गुना सोखने वाला। हैवी फ्लो के लिए रियो।
I think this was one where you have these goosebump moments, and we were presenting this, and I think we all had those goosebumps because PCOD and PCOS is a thing nobody talks about. He told me, Karthik told me, Priya, I want to. It started with, I've got these two products, A and B. You come and tell me which one is better. And they had done some work earlier as well. So I said, okay. But I said, I have to understand the woman and her problem. And it was a major recruitment challenge because we had to really ask her if there was a problem. Did she know about the problem? Some people didn't even know that they were having a PCOD, PCOS problem. And it starts at a very younger age, Saurabh? It's not necessarily that it only happens during menopause. It starts way, way earlier. And one of the things that I sensitized, and they were young, my 2 young bachas did this study. And what I told them is just capture the stories. Let's understand what she is going through. And when you saw that, कभी ज्यादा निकलता है, ऐसे लग रहा है कि किसी ने नल खोल दिया है.
These are all real insights.
Yeah, very powerful consumer.
किसी ने नल खोल दिया है was something that I told them they have to capture that. Another thing they had to capture is that there was this woman who said, when I have this, my husband tells me to sleep on the floor because the bedsheet gets stained. इतना सारा blood निकलता है. Somebody said that मैं ऑफिस जाती हूँ तो बार-बार मैं चेक करती हूँ कि 2-2 घंटे में के कुछ स्टेन ना हो जाए. Somebody said मैं 2-3 पैड लगाती हूँ और उसको सेफ्टी पिन से ये करती हूँ so that there is no over. Those were the moments that we had to capture. And if you ask me, this was an emotional act. Bringing out that thing and connecting very easily with that 10x absorption. Because the product was doing well. Because he had tested it. We knew the product. We did a product usability study. But I took it a little ahead, Saurabh. I went beyond the brief. Because I was so moved that we were giving a woman a solution who was going through this, right? Being a woman, I had not thought of it. And, that was the goosebump. I still feel that.
So when Rio ads came, I remember that time a lot of talks was going about, using something else like a blue color instead of red color. So, I mean, this conversation was there. So you had anything in mind about the acceptability of conveying a powerful message through this? You're changing a perspective, right? And there is a risk associated with that. So do you had any kind of fear about the acceptability on this part?
Okay, so I'm going to say something that when you work with entrepreneurs, and I think as Ormax, we are an entrepreneurial bent of mind company. If something has to be shown and it is the truth, you need to do it. And Karthik knew very well of Nobel that this is going to get him a lot of flack from women activists. LinkedIn pe to if you went, it was like one bloodbath. And if you use the word bloodbath in that, we were prepared. In fact, he told me that I'm going to get pulled by ASCII. That is this based on consumer research? And I said, I actually prepared for him a legal document based on the research findings. Because there's no hogwash in this, correct? And I wrote him that, so he said, Priya, that I need your help over here. And I actually wrote this in a manner which is a statement of fact. It has not come out from thin air. It has come out from women who have experienced this. So why should we shy away from showing this? We are in the 21st century. If women are feeling grossed out by this, then boss, we have another challenge on our hands. And I think that's the step that we took, and I think we were very happy with that approach. Red and
Yeah.
blue, it's the reality. Yeah, it's the reality.
What I like about the film is one, of course, compelling consumer benefit, but also right casting. I think sensitively dealt. I think the dark hues with the red color. I think all of that was very tastefully done. So in that sense, it's a very aesthetically made film
So
and
I think,
sensitive.
Saurabh, very important what you said. The idea was not to gross out people. The idea was to sensitize people. Therefore, it had
Hmm.
to be done sophisticatedly. It had to be done by a person who was, recognized for her work, who's edgy. And I think they did a brilliant job of that. I think they did a brilliant job of that. Like, even when I watch it now, I don't see that. I see the real pain of the person who is going through it. Narrated by a Sutradhar.
Hmm.
She could possibly be a PCOD user, or she's a Sutradhar of that, right? So that way well
So
executed.
it's always a challenge in a category which, in a country which considers all of these topics quite a taboo. Uh, at that time, it is really difficult, because at one time you want to make a genuine benefit to people who deserve it. At the same time, you're also worried about the big bats.
Yeah. That's why I said that I think if you think like an entrepreneur, and if you think that this is required, and you're prepared for it, you're prepared for it. You can take the easy route out always, right, Saurabh? But if you've done such phenomenal work, like I still remember that line, कि ऐसे लगता है कि किसी ने नल खोल के रखा है.
Hmm.
And I
Very,
told
very,
her,
very convincing.
I said, boss, if you don't use this, and I tied in with Saurabh, what is very, very important is how is this product going to help me? I went to the extent of understanding what is the cost of one sanitary pad.
Hmm.
और a PCUD user उसका double triple लगता है, correct? ये pad can solve the number of pads that are used in the first 2 days of the flow. So there's a mental
Hmm.
math also. There's a benefit, cost effective benefit also. So when we do a study in us, it's not about only finding the pain point. Also understanding I would say the math behind it.
Hmm.
And the penetration of sanitary pads is very low because many women think it is expensive.
Hmm.
एक पैड 8 रुपए की है या 10 रुपए की. Then how do you do that math and say अच्छा इसको कितना लगने वाला है? और how is Rio helping her cut that, right? पैसे की भी
Hmm.
बचत हो रही है, मुझे अच्छा प्रोडक्ट मिला, मुझे सेफ्टी पिन नहीं लगाना पड़ेगा.
Hmm.
And
True.
women also, because it was such a deep topic, close to the heart for everybody, they also gave suggestions of how to improve the product. And I'll tell you what Karthik did. And I said, Karthik, these 20 women, and I'll tell you the study was such a small study, Saurabh. You won't believe it. It was only done in Mumbai. 20 women.
Hmm.
Okay. So one of the myths is that we have to do it multi-cities, all of that. 20 women chosen right were given the product. They used it. They came back with the suggestions. And I told Karthik, I want you to write them a mail as a gesture because they have inputted into your product, and actually send them a lovely hamper box with the product, with the chocolates once he launched it. And I think that took that to the next level. And I thought that was such a sweet gesture. And that's why the study is so memorable in many, many ways, right? It's not about, okay, it could be just another brand, another study for us, but how did we take it to the next level? Yeah. And I think that's the investment that the entrepreneur had in coming out with a good product. And it always starts at home, right? It could be something that could have deeply impacted him. And how can he bring
Right.
that out? Yeah.
And how was the kind of spending? Was they able to spend appropriately? Did they get the right amount of reach? Was there a decent amount of impact?
I think decent amount of impact, and I think they this also became a case study in I think Walk, where they actually published this paper. It was known for
Okay,
how they yeah yeah. I think I can pull that out later and share that also. So I think took it to I think we stood for saying that this is important and it has to count, and we are not afraid of what people are going to say about it. Yeah.
cool. Devleena,
So,
anything else?
yeah, would you like to talk about the brand ambassador Radhika Apte, like such a fabulous
Hmm.
act, like how she has been chosen and something about her?
Okay. So if you ask me where my role starts and ends, okay. See, once you've got the consumer insight and you've got it this, then I think it is the creative agency's job to dramatize, correct? And we all work very, very closely. And when I remember Karthik telling me that, we're choosing and Radhika Apte, what do you think about it? I said, she's a phenomenal actress. She's also edgy. She's bold. For something as bold as this, you need someone who's bold, right? Who's taking things which are really, really out of the box. And I think that did well. That did well. And I think therefore that so much thought has to be put in that who is you're going to be your brand ambassador? Who is it that you're going to, narrate? Who's going to narrate the story?
The agency was Woom, is it? The creative
Yeah,
agency?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice. Woom has been doing some really good work. I think they picked up quite a few medals this year.
Correct, correct. So and I think that ability to work with as a partnership, correct, at the end of it.
Hmm.
Also, you always know, Saurabh, because you've worked, there's always this loggerheads with creative agency and insights agency and, unko kya pata hai, inko kya pata hai and all that. I think what I've been able to do is say that it's a partnership. There's no right or wrong, but this piece of work should be able to bring out that particular dramatization of that thought. And I think
Right.
that's very, very important. And therefore, we work very, very closely. That's why I said it's a collaborative partnership. If you ask me what's my role, and I think I would say both by my nature and Ormax's DNA, we believe in integration and collaboration. Yeah.
Super.
So I think, yeah, we have covered it all.
Great.
Sort of, Priya, if you say, can we move to the next?
Yeah, let's do that.
Wow, this was one of the powerful full conversation which we had in our platform. I'm just curious to know about the key takeaways and learnings from this particular conversation, Saurabh.
Yeah. Very, very powerful ad. And these are not easy subjects. Believe you me, somebody like a Rio Pads, even a lot of these categories, say, hygiene, condoms. Now, these are tough categories to make advertising about. And the reason is because, there is always this brigade out there waiting to feel, hurt, or their sensibilities have been, impacted, and so on and so forth. So it is a very, very delicate part for a marketer. Even if you have the nicest intentions, because you are solving a genuine problem, right? So I think for me in this kind of a space, there were a few key learnings. The first learning is, how do you walk the fine line of saying I understand the consumer, and yet I'm going to be sensitive about it. So the simple words like, ऐसा कभी तो ऐसा लगता है जैसे नल ही चला दिया. Right? Now that is something that is obviously come from a consumer verbatim. Yeah, it is very powerful because anybody who hears it will relate to it. The target group will relate to it without
Direct
hurting the
relation.
sensibilities of other people, right?
Right.
So hence, how you consumer sensitive, consumer centered, empathetic about genuinely understanding the issue. Yeah. The second part for me was, when you are in a serious category, you can't make fun about it, right?
Yeah.
And hence the casting, the dark hues, the red color, all of it does a beautiful job of upholding the dignity of the conversation. The fact that this is a serious conversation, we know it. Yeah. And finally is the metaphor and the brand current. So bringing in the sanitary pad and the red balloon, I think that was really, really awesome, because now you have a mnemonic that you will also relate to the brand. You see the red balloon, and in your POS and your point of buying, etc., all you need to do is to bring back that muscle memory of the red balloon, and people will know what you're talking about. It's almost like a signature. It's like the McDonald's golden arches.
Yeah.
It's like a glass and a half a dairy milk, right? So the red balloon can actually say that, hey, I know you got a problem. I got a solution for you. My brand can, which is Rio Pads, can solve it, and it's a serious problem. We will treat it with sensitivity. Hence, I would say it's a very good conversation on a difficult part of marketing. It's a tough topic, dealt very sensitively and really beautifully. I think it's been a great episode.
Awesome, awesome, sort of. And I really like that, maintaining a fine balance, which is very tough for any marketer, especially in these sensitive topics, and still bringing the beauty out of that, So that is really tough. And thank you for sharing these takeaways and key learnings for us. Yeah, thank you so much, Saurabh, for being here.
Great. Looking forward to next week.
Same here.